the first underscore name, you can define the string like this. First underscore name, and the value here is Chinmay. Last underscore name or last name, the value is Deshpande. You can define the string like this. So if you just want to print the string, how will you print the string? You will print it like this. First underscore name, right click and run. So we'll get the value. If you define the string, say last underscore name, and if you run this, you will get that value. Okay, so last underscore name has to be like this. Save, right click, run. So it will be Deshpande. So this is the way you define a string in Python. Define a string in Python. Then if you want to access the characters of string, so accessing the character of string. So in Python also, string stores the value by index. So string stores the value by index. So let's say I define a string, let's say city equal to Pune. And if I say print city of 0, then I will be getting this P, right? So if you right click and run this, I will be getting P. Similarly, if I say city of 1, then city of 2, city of 2, and city of 3, I will be getting the respective characters. So here it is P, U, N, E. So it is 0, 1, 2, and 3. If I save this and if I run this, I will be getting Pune, Pune. Yeah. Now let's say if my city name is bigger, let's say city 2, and I make it Chandrapur this time. And I write like something like this: CHANDRAPUR. Just the index is this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I cannot access because there are so many characters. I cannot access like this. So again, two ways. What are the two ways? Looping through list, looping through string. So you can loop through a string using range function, because it stored the value by index, so you can use range function. And another would be for loop, right? For loop with range and without range, right? So for loop without range. So using range, right? So using range will be very simple, right? For character in range. And again, you have the length function to know how many characters are there in string. So I will say length of what? City2. And if I just print character, I will be getting all the index values. So if I right click and run this, see all the index value are getting from 0 to 9. But I don't want the index value, right? So I don't want the index value. I'll say print, not the index value. I want every character. So I will say city2 of char. city2 of char. If I right click and run, I will be getting every character of that particular string. So obviously this range function will basically make it, right? Length of 2 will be 9. So it will iterate from 0 to, length will be 10, sorry, not 9. Range length will be 10 because there are total 10 characters. Now it will iterate basically through 0 to 9. When it iterates to 0 to 9, when I print character, it will print me 0 to 9, means all the index of this particular string. But when I say ct2 of character, then it will basically give me every character. Okay, so I will not make it hard code. I will keep it length of ct2. Same we have seen in what, list also, right? Or tuple also, because it shows the value by index. And without using range would be very simple. For character, in what you say, ct2, print character. That's it. If you right click and run this, simply it will basically give you the all characters of a particular string. Is this fine?
Yes.
Okay. Then we can, okay, let's call it program 2. The slicing also is very similar. Okay, let's say for example, I have ct3 and I will keep it Chandrapur only. It's a large city name, Chandrapur. And you can see C and H A N and D R A P U R 0 1 2 3 4 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay. And let's say for the negative indexes we have here. So for the negative index you have here is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, or -10. So slicing is very similar to what we have seen in basically list. Let's say if so slicing again will have ct3. We can have basically start index here, gain index, which will not be included. That will be gain index. Along with that, you will having basically steps. So let's see how it works. So slicing basically will give me the substring. Now let's say for example, if I do print ct3, let's say I start with first and I will iterate till, let's say 6. So we'll start with first h, go to 6, but will not include 6, right? Because it does not include the end value, right? So if you right click and print this, so ct3, if you run this, see HAD HANDR. So it starts with first index. So HAND and then R, but it will not include the sixth one, right? Okay. So before that, we'll just pass. Let's say if I just say CT3 of 2, so it will basically give me the value at index 2, which is A. If I type 1 to 6, it will start from 1, will move to 6, but will not include 6. Last index is not included. Okay. So this is not included. Fine. So this is not included. If I say print CT3 of, let's say, I have not given the start index. I have just mentioned the end index like 8. So by default, the start index it will consider will be 0. It will start with this C, will move till 8, will not include 8. So it will be from, it will be till here, right? CHANDRA. Okay. CHANDRA. It will give till this point only. So if you right click and run this, CHANDRAP, right? If you basically give the start index and has not mentioned the end index, let's say you start with 2 and not even mention the end index, that it will start from here and it will go till end. So 2 till R, it will basically give me 2 till R. And if you basically have, let's say if you give the negative index also, it will work like that only, right? So if you say -1, so -1 will be R. See, -1 is R. If you give something like, let's say -9 to -9 onwards, so it will basically start from -9. So it will start from H till the end. H till the end. If you basically give in the range, let's say -9 to, let's say 8, it will start from -9, move till 8, will not include 8, so it will include till P only. Right. And let's say if you again have a combination where you have first positive and then negative, -1 to 1 to -1. So it will start with 1, will move to -1, will not include -1. So again, HANDRAPU. And let's say now you can do it with the step size. Let's say step size. So I say start with 0, go till -1 with the step size of 2. So what it will do, it will start with 0. So step size of 2, it will directly jump to next element. So it will start with 0, then it will 2. So it will start with C, then A, then N, then A, then again U. Likewise, it will basically move. C, C, then A, then D, then A, and then U. So these are basically the step sizes. Okay. So this is the way how step size basically works in slicing works in case of string. Okay. Let's move to another. So let's say program 3. So let's move, let's say. Now, like, suppose I have string, how to concat the string, right? So basically how you basically do concatenation for a string. So it's very simple. Let's say for example, you have first name, define first name as Chinmay, and you have last underscore name or last name as Deshpande. And if you want to just add these two strings, right? So you can say print My first name is space, and you can add it. That first name is first name plus my last name is is space last underscore name. So this way, basically with the plus operator, you can basically add two strings. If you right click and run, see, you will get my first name is Chinmay because the value of first name is Chinmay and my last name is Deshpande. This way you can basically concatenate the string. Is this clear? Okay. See. If you have any questions, please drop the message in chat box. Is this clear to everyone? Okay. Let's say we come across here as fourth. Now let's talk about the methods in string, right? So we have string many methods in, okay, we have string many methods in tuple, dictionary, set, right? Tuple, dictionary, set, and list. Now let's see some methods in. So we have few methods in where in list also. So how you basically string, not list string. So if I say first name, or let's say I say first underscore name and first underscore name, and I will make it, let's say Sarika. So we have method here like first underscore name dot upper. So this upper method will convert every character to the uppercase. So if you just now it returns your string with uppercase. I stored it in Q1, and if I print Q1, Sarika will be in uppercase. So if I right click and run this, uppercase. Can you explain the line number 48 again? 48. Yeah, so 48 it starts with -9, right? So we are basically slicing this string. So it starts with -9 to 8. So you start with -9, you will move till 8, but 8 will not be included, right? Because it's a in index. So it will give you the output as HARDRAPU. Not 8 will not be included. So this will be the output for this. -9 to 8. Okay. So first underscore name dot upper. So it will basically give you the Sarika in uppercase. Similarly, there is upper method. There is lower method also. So what lower method will do? Lower method will basically, so lower method will basically give the output in lowercase. Let's say I will define another string with last underscore name, and I will keep it as deliberately keeping the first character as capital. Capitalize you can say to this DSHP and D Deshpande. And if I say last name dot lower. So if I say last name not lower, what it will do, it will basically take the string to the lowercase. All the characters will be converted to lowercase. If you just print Q2, you will see every character of Deshpande to lowercase. If I right click and run this, see, all goes to the lowercase. Okay. So there is a strip method. Okay. If you see there is a strip method, then there is L strip also, left strip also. There is strip, there is left strip, there is right strip. Left strip, right strip is there, and there is split is there. Okay. split method is there. Okay, we can say then there is join method. Join method is basically for the this method belongs to list, not this. Then you have replace method here, replace method here. Starts with ends with we have, right? We have starts with, we have ends with, ends with. We have find, we have find, then we have index, then we have count. Let me just list it first, then we'll start saying one. So then we have count, then we have is digit, then you have is alphabet, is alpha, and then you have is number. And yeah, apart from this, also there are many methods, but I find this much useful. String is a very huge data type. It has many methods. So let's say apart from this, there are so many methods, right? But I find this methods very useful. Okay. You can go and basically check for the other methods. These are this much. What I have listed below are important. Okay. So let's say strip, right? Let's say for example, I come up with a city. I will say city2 equal to Goa. Deliberately, what I'm doing, I'm adding space at the front and the last. Okay. So if I go and check the length of it, including the characters, the length will be 5. So if I say print length of city2. So if I right click and run, it will be basically 5. Is this fine? Now if I basically strip it, let's say for example, I say city2 dot strip. So what will happen if I say city2 dot strip? It will basically remove the heading and trailing spaces. So when I say it removes the heading and trailing spaces, so now here again city2. So if I print it, if I print city2 again and check for the length, check for its length. So heading and trailing space are gone, right? So length will be now instead of 5, it will be 3. So it will be 3 now. This much is clear. Now let's say for example here you have left strip, right? So when I'm basically you are having left strip, it will only remove the left hand space. So if on this basically if I call city2 dot left strip, it will remove only left side space. Right side space will remain as it is. So if it removes the only left side space, and if I check for the length, what will the length? Length will be 4 because right space still remains, right? So if you check length of 32, it will be 4. So if I save, I right click and run this. So this you see the length is 4. Similar is the case for the right strip. It will only remove the right hand space, not the left hand space. So if you basically do strip and you say length of 32, so if you right click and run, you basically has that 4 again. Why 4? Because only right hand space is gone. Clear? Example in real project was split or strip. Yeah, you basically have many Excel values, right? You when you are reading a CSV file or Excel file, right? You don't consider people to be exact entering the exact value, right? Or they will add additional spaces, or you are basically taking additional spaces, right? So you can look through the every column of a what do you say, every column of your list and basically remove those additional spaces to just clean the data and put it into a database. Okay, that can be the example. Okay. Reading Excel. Okay, reading the Excel. Okay, let's move ahead. Now you have the split method, right? So let's say I have complete like this. Chinmay Shirish Deshpande. And this is a string, and I want to split this string into. So I want to split this string where there are spaces, right? So I will say split on spaces. So I say on space I want to split this, right? And it's basically, let's say I store it into Q4. If you store it into Q4 and you print it again, so it basically split the complete string and returns you a list. So now let's say this is a complete string, right? And you want to split it. So where you find the spaces, it will basically add comma there. Wherever you find spaces, because you are spacing it on split. You are basically splitting it on space. So now where you find the space inside this, right? Let's say you find the space here. So it was string was like this, right? You find the space here, just add comma there. Wherever you find the space, just add comma, right? And now these elements will be separated. So now you have split this string successfully, and the return type will be now list. So if I print Q4, if I right click and run this, you say it's splitted, right? It is splitted on space. Let's say if I split it on not on the space, but if I split it on A, let's say for example you have Q by here and I split it on A, character A, then how will it will be splitted? Let's say, okay, I will just bring this string again. Wherever you find A, just add comma there because you're splitting on A. So this will be the first character, this will be the first index element of what you say list, and this will be the second. So it will be splitted like this. So this will be second, and this will be the third one. So wherever you find A, just add comma, it will split it there. Let's check whether I have done correctly or not. Let's print Q5 again. So when you print Q5 again, right click and run. See, it's splitted like this only. Okay. So join method is not a method of string, it's a method of list. Okay. Let's say for example, it's exactly opposite to this. Let's say for example, I have a list where I'm having the information like this. Let's say this is the list and having the information as Chinmay, Shirish, and you say Deshpande. And if I just want to add the all the elements and just have one string, so I have to just join all the elements of us all the elements of this list into one string. So I will say info dot join, and on what I want to join this, let's say info dot join, I want to join this on the what you say dash. So whatever it returns me, let's say it returns me something, I will store it into Q6 and I will print it. So I'll say print Q6. If I print Q6, if I right click and run, okay, list object has no attribute join. Okay, list. Okay, so I not use that method correctly, I guess. Okay, so I messed somewhere with this. Okay, okay, it does not work like this, right? So it work like this dash, and you say join. So I have to join every element of the. So this work like this dash dot join info, and now you will be getting the same output. So every element of this list will be joined with this what you say dash. So again a method, it's a method on list, but you have to call it on string only. So I'm adding Chinmay dash Deshpande. So this is the character on which you will basically join every element of the list. Okay, so it works like this. So if you say let's say Q7, and if I say at the rate join info, so it will join every character of the string on at the rate. So if I say right click and run info. Okay, let's say for example, it's in photo. Say I am now replace method is simple. I am learning, let's say JavaScript. So let's say info I am learning JavaScript, and now let's say for example I want to replace JavaScript with Python. So what I will do, I will say info to on this string dot replace. What we need to replace? You need to replace JavaScript with, let's say, Python. So in this particular string, wherever you find basically JavaScript will be replaced with Python. So if I right click and run this, or I store it into a variable, let's say Q3 or Q8, and if I print it, if I print Q8, right click and run. So I'm learning Python. So this JavaScript will be replaced with Python. Okay. Let's say it starts with, let's say for example, I have string where I have CT10 and CT10 to be, let's say Kanpur. And I want to check whether the city is 10 dot starts with, it starts with, let's say K, and it returns me a boolean value. I store it in Q9. If the city starts with KA, and it will return me boolean true. So if I print Q9, if I right click and run this, it will be true. And let's say if I say CT10 dot ends with, it can also take substring or single string also, single character also. If I say it ends with R, so yeah, the city ends with R, so I will basically get the boolean value. Because it is ending with R, I will get the boolean value. So let's say Q10, so I'll be getting it true only because this Kanpur ends with R. You can also have substring there where you can basically say it ends with PUR. Yeah, so it ends with PUR. So if you basically store that into a variable again and print it, so it will be PUR. So if you right click and run this, both will be true again. Okay. Now let's say you have find here. So if you want to find a particular character, let's say for example, I have city 11 equal to, let's say Nagpur. And if you want to find city 11 dot find, so you want to basically find what is at index. So you see here, it basically takes the start index and end index, right? Self substring returns the lowest index in S where substring is found. Okay. So let's say for example, if I want to find A and I want to find the character of A, like what at what place the A is there, right? So let's say in Nagpur, you basically has, this is how it is, right? And how it stores the value by index. If you see the index, it is 0. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. And you say you want to find the on city 11, you want to find A. So A will be at index 1. So if you just store it into Q11 and you will just print Q11 and right click and run, so you'll see basically it at index 1. Let's say you added another A and you want to find another A, but you want to start searching for from 2 second index. So what it will do? It will search for the A, but it will start from second index. Output will be 6 this time, right? Because it starts searching from the second index. Now you can also give the range from what start to end you want to search. Let's say for example you want QTL. You want to search for the A starting with 2 second index, and you want to only search till what you say 5. So from 2 to 5, if there is no A, it will not return you any value, right? So let's say store it in Q12. Let's print Q12 just. Right click and run this. We'll start searching from index 2 till 5, not include 5. See, so it's -1. Why it is -1? Because we don't find this character A starting from, so we are not find any character starting from this second index to the fifth index. Is this clear? So let's say, okay, so this was find. Now let's say index method. So let's say ct11 dot index, and if I say I want to pass here, if I pass G, okay, so it will basically return me the index of G. So let's store it in Q13, and if I print Q13, right click and run, it will return me the index 2. Now what should there should be a difference, right? So if I don't find it, maybe I say I, so there is no I think it should return me the, it will basically return me the -1. So then what is the difference between this find and this? I think with the find you can basically pass the range, but with index you cannot pass the range. Also index also you can pass the range. Then what is the difference? Hmm. Yeah, it says right. It raises the error. This will not give the error. This will give you -1. But when you does not find any character at index, it raises the error. This is a difference. So you are not getting -1. Actually, you are getting error above. Okay. See above you are getting the error, right? ct.11 at 1, right? So this is the difference between find and index, right? If you do not find something, or if you do not find a substring with the find, it will not raise the error. It will give the -1. But the same case when you does not find something with the index method, which is I, and I'm not finding any I on this Nagpur, so it will raise me the error and it will halt the program execution. Okay, so this is the difference. It raises the, let's say it raises the error, raises the error. Fine. Okay, let's say then let's basically check for these methods. Let's say for example I have ct13, and I will again, or ct12 let's say, and I will again give it Chandrapur, and let's say CHANDERAPUR. And if I want to count the number of A's in this, right? So this is the one and this is two, right? So there is a method, count method. So I will say ct.count on ct, on this string, let's say I want to count the number of A's, and value I will be storing the value in Q14. And if I just print it on Q14, if I just print it, I run this. So I'll be getting 2 because there are 2 A's. Okay. Now each digit method, all this method, each digit is alpha and is alphanumeric, right? All this digit, all this method returns me a Boolean value. So let's say in a string, let's say I will basically have my string as info1. If the in strings I only has the digits, right? The digits will be from 0 to 9. If I only has a digit, then this method will return me true. So if I say info dot is digit, So there are all digits, right? These are all digits on info one. So it will return me a boolean value. So let's say cube 15. And if I say print 15, so it will be true, right? Because there are all digits. If you add any character to it or like alphabet to it, it will return you the false value. Similarly is the case with is alpha. Okay. It will only check the for the alphabets value. If you have number, it will return you false. If you have only the alphabets, it will return you true. So you say info dot is alpha, and I store it into a variable, let's say q16, and I print q16. I right click and run, so it will false because there are digits also in this. So if I remove this and then run this, so all are alphabets, so it will now return me true. And here is alphanumeric. You can have both. Let's say for example, info3, info3. If I have just alphabets, it will return me true. If I have just digit, also it will return me true. If I have both alphabets and digits, it will return me true. But if I have alphabets, digits, and any special symbol in it, then it will return me false, right? So let's say for example, so only for the fifth case it will return me false. All the other case it will return me true. Let's quickly check this. So say info 3, okay, 3a. Let's say info 3 dot is alpha. This will be true. 3a is dot alpha is also true. Info 4, this will be also true. Only the fifth will be false. Fourth will also be true. Right click and run. So fifth will be false because it is also having numbers. So alpha number can have only alphabets, can have only numbers, can have both alpha and numbers, but cannot have any special symbols.